Hey, what's up, my friends? It's good to be back. So, pardon me, right? Last week, I did not have a weekly market analysis because I was in Phuket. So, things were a little rushing towards the end, so I decided to skip the video altogether. So, nonetheless, right, don't worry, this week I'm back. So, this week, right, markets are looking interesting. I'll be looking to cover markets like sugar, a trade which I got stopped out of. We'll talk about the dollar yen. We'll talk about natural gas as well as a dollar sing market, which I've spoke about, I think, a couple of weeks back. So all this and more in this week's market analysis. But first, right, I want to share with you something, right, which is other than my trip to Phuket. Alrighty, so what you're seeing right now is basically the beach, right? It's called Patong Beach in Phuket, and beautiful. I think it's one of the more popular beaches in Phuket itself. Not the cleanest, but the more popular one because it's closer to town. So yeah, it has great view, great sunset, and where I'm sitting at is basically, they have this bar that is on the beach. So they have chairs for you, pretty comfortable. You can get your booze and wine whatsoever, and just admire the view of the beach, right? The sunset, the sunrise, it's beautiful. And you see people, playing parasailing, playing kites, some, playing with fire as a performance, and yeah, it's beautiful. And along the way in Phuket, there is this, I would say, a cafe. It's called Albon Pan, right? They sell lovely sandwiches, trust me, right? This is a club sandwich. And if you know club sandwich, right, if you've eaten club sandwich in Singapore or over the world, it's basically consisting of tomato, lettuce, ham, and that's about it. But this sandwich is awesome, I'm telling you, right? The flavors they use, the spice, the sauce is so different, right? So this club sandwich from Albon Pan is something that you've got to try. It's basically a cafe in a, what's the mall? Jiangxi Long, right? It's just outside the mall itself. So you've got to try this cafe. They serve really, really good sandwiches. And what more, right? If you're in Phuket or in Thailand, what more if you're going there, you got to try their pineapple rice. You don't really see this elsewhere, right? Not in Singapore, right? Because what they do in Thailand or Phuket is that they grab the pineapple, they basically scraped out the flesh of the pineapple, they cook the rice, they put it on top of the pineapple which you see over here, and the remaining pineapple are just basically added onto the rice. So it gives a really very authentic feel to what they call a pineapple fried rice. It's literally rice, fried rice on a pineapple. So it's definitely one of the food that you have to try down there, right? Not so much if for the taste, but rather, right, to look at it, this presentation is, really, really unique. You don't really see this elsewhere. And yep, this is the same beach I was at, but now it's sunset. You can see that, basically, right, the colors have changed, right? I'm taking a photo with my wife. This is some beer behind it, and it's a lovely experience, right? For couples, for family, etc., right? The beach is somewhere you can just chill the whole day, right? And just watch, people just move around, and as life, goes on, it is a time, a place where you can relax and just enjoy the scenery. All right. Okay. So now back to the markets, right? That was a little bit on the Phuket trip I had. Hope you get to feel what I felt over the last 4-5 days. So now let's look at the market. Let me share with you sugar, shall we? So sugar, right? Unfortunately, it was a trade that I got stopped out of in my holidays, all right? I'm not here to paint a rosy picture whereby, you're a trader, you can go for a holiday, and a holiday, right, you still can make money while you're on a holiday, how beautiful it is. I'm here to tell you, when you go on holiday and you have a position on, there is always the possibility of you losing money on a trade. This is the truth. I'm not here to paint you or sell you any, rosy picture of what could be. I'm here to tell you what is the reality. And the reality is this. This is what I did. This was a trade on sugar. It was in a downtrend. And basically, I went short over here, right? I noticed there was this resistance, right? Previous support, then it turned resistance over here. Then price came up and tested once again. So I went short. Then I had a stop loss of 2 ATR, I think somewhere over here. So price went a little bit against me, then went in my favor. So while I was in Phuket, right, you notice, right, price rallied against me, right? 1 candle, 2 candle, 3 candle, 4 candle, 5 candle. So basically I got stopped out, right, in my trip on to Phuket. I got stopped out of the sugar trade. I lost money. And hey, it's a good trade, right? I followed my trading plan. I had a stop loss in place. And there's absolutely, I would say, nothing to feel sorry about. I followed my plan and I'm feeling good about it. So this is the truth, right? When you go on holiday, it does not mean that, you can trade anywhere in the world. You can make money every month, even on a holiday. No. Right? The markets can do anything to you. And the only thing that you should do as a responsible trader is if you are going for a holiday, make sure that you always have a stops in place. All right, this is to prevent any adverse thing that the market can do to you, like for example, right, going against you, right? So look at it. It's a good thing I had my stop loss in place, because if I went for a holiday without a stop loss, my losses would be even worse right now, because right, look how high price has rallied over here. So this is something to share with you. All right, have a stop loss in place. Doesn't mean that you go on a holiday then you put a stop loss. No, for me, I put a stop loss the moment I entered a trade. So I hope you find this sharing with you useful. So up next, let's look at another chart, shall we? This is the dollar Sing. I believe I mentioned this last week or a couple of weeks back before I left for Phuket. This is a resistance. Price then traded above it. Previous resistance, what does it happen, right? Previous resistance will turn into support. Then we have this bounce over here. Price rallied higher. Then it came down and retest. We have another retest of this support area. So look at it, the trend is still in an uptrend. So what I did was I took this as a swing trade. I like the price action that's showing on the chart. I had this bullish pin bar over here. I had a second pin bar over here showing, rejection of lower prices. So I went long, stop loss below the low of the pin bar, and I look to take profits at this high over here. So basically, I took profits off at this high, and right now price, still seems to be trading higher. But the mindset should be, if this is a swing trade, you're only looking to capture one swing in the market. So if price does trade higher, you shouldn't be, feeling sorry for yourself. Oh, I left profits on the table. Oh, how foolish I am. How silly I am. No. You should not be thinking along this way, because you have to understand from the start, this trade is a swing trade. And when you are a swing trader, when you want to capture a swing in the market, that's all you're trying to do. Capture this one swing. It doesn't matter, how high or how far price does eventually go, because that is not the role of a swing trader. That is more of a role of a position trader to capture, a larger position in the market. For a swing trader, your objective is just to capture one swing, and that's it. So do not feel sore, do not feel sorry for yourself if price does eventually, go much further in your favor, because you have essentially fulfilled your role as a swing trader. So always, ask yourself whether a trade you're putting on, is it a swing trade or is it going to be a position trade? And then manage your expectations accordingly. Okay? So now let's move on. I want to share with you another trade. It's a natural gas trade. Basically, natural gas is in a very, I would say, interesting times right now, because you look at it, for the good chunk of 2015, which I've highlighted in this black line over here, this high, the resistance, and this lows, it has been in a range for a long period of time. So what happened on Thursday is that this could be a start of something new, something big, because for the first time in don't know how many years, we have this break and close below the lows over here. This is a multi-year lows. This is not only the low of 2015, but the low of 2014, 13, 2012, if you look back far enough. So this is very significant over here. So honestly, could this be a real legitimate breakout? I don't know. Right? I am not a prophet. I can't predict what the markets will do. All I know is that I have a plan, and I'm going to follow it. So I'm not in this trade yet, because I was in Phuket. I did not have my orders set. So here's what I intend to do. I intend to place a sell limit order over here with a stop loss of 2 ATR somewhere here. If I do get triggered, I'll be looking to short this market. Does it mean price will retrace higher, then slump all the way lower? Well, that could be a possibility. And likewise, another possibility is that price retrace higher and then hit my stop loss, essentially giving what is called a false breakout. So I can't predict what the markets will do. All I can do is just look at the chart, have my plan, my trading plan laid out in front of me. Well, basically it's really, in my heart. I basically memorize it and I just follow the plan, right? Because I know if I follow my plan religiously day in and day out over a series of large number of trades, I'm going to come out ahead because I have a positive expectancy in my system. So this is my plan for natural gas, and we'll see what happens next. And last but not least, let's talk about the dollar yen, shall we? Dollar yen. Let's look at the weekly chart. On the dollar yen weekly chart, notice I think a couple of weeks I said, this was the lows to be paying attention to. This is the highs. If price were to take out these lows over here, I would look to have a short bias in anticipation for lower prices. Another thing that catches my attention right now is that you look at the 20 and 50 period moving average on the weekly chart. You notice that it's acting as dynamic support. So I don't trade off the weekly chart because the stop loss is too large, right? So what I can do instead is to go down to a lower time frame, like the daily chart, and look for a trading setup. So right now on the weekly chart, you know that the trend is still up, right? It's still respecting the 20 and 50 period moving average. So how do you look for an entry on board this trend? So let me share with you something that I'm looking at. This is the daily chart. You notice that the trend isn't as beautiful. So, but what you notice is that you have these highs over here and this spike low over here. So I'm just focused on these highs over here because I noticed that price is consolidating in this region. So the bulls and the bears are in equilibrium. That is why they are in a range. So naturally, it is pretty obvious that those who are short this market would have their stop loss above these highs over here, and those who are long this market would have their stop loss below these lows over here and these lows over here. For me personally, I'm looking to long this market because you saw earlier on the weekly chart, the trend is still up. So I want to trade along the path of least resistance. And by trading along the path of least resistance, what should I do? I should be long. Am I right? So this is how I look to trade the dollar yen. So it's a good thing that I see consolidation because I see that it basically tells me that there is potential energy being stored. And when potential energy is being stored, it has to be given out, right? It has to be let go in one way or another. And a scenario that I envision is a potential breakout higher, breakout above this swing high, and then price, retesting this resistance over here. So I'll be looking to trade the breakout, basically placing a buy stop order above this swing high over here. I have my stop loss of 2 ATR, and we'll see if price does trade higher from there. And if I'm wrong, I just take the loss and I move on. So this is my take on the dollar yen, and something to share with you as well. So yep, that's all I have for you in this week's market analysis. I hope you find it useful. And it's definitely good to be back, right? Back to the markets, back with you, right? Sharing my trading thoughts. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. I'm here to help. So with that, I wish you all good luck and good trading. I'll talk to you soon.